With my big bag of slime. We want to do some ASMR to start the stream. Oh no. Sticky. Good evening, or good evening. For the start of the stream, we will be doing a little bit of ASMR today. My latest addiction is slime. I have 8 different slimes that I purchased within the last 2 weeks. I also just bought 2 more. Okay, we better get actually starting on what I needed to do today, which is finish my game. Hey there. Okay, I'm done whispering. That's kind of annoying. This brings me back to some 100 Devs memories. Cedric Rust from YouTube. The 100 Devs stream on YouTube. Or not on YouTube, Twitch. Little 100 Devs clan. I really want to get back on Twitch, but I still have 1 month until I can resubmit an appeal. I miscounted the months. I originally thought that my 6 months were up today, but no, I still have 1 month to go. Oh yeah, I thought you only streamed that stuff from earlier, but this is a nice ASW? What is an ASW? Keep the whispers. Alright. Okay, I want to show you guys one more slime before we continue. Uh-oh, this one exploded. Oh, don't dry out. That's unfortunate. I think that's how I subbed to your channel. You made your own server on Discord, didn't you? I did. I do have my own Discord server. I am currently trying to make my own game. That is why we are going to be learning Godot today. I feel like I sound like a 1,000-year-old smoker every time I whisper. Okay. This one smells so nice. Ah. If you want the link to my Discord server, just let me know, because I know it's not on my YouTube. It's on my Kick. If you have a Kick, I'm also live on Kick right now. I am dual streaming. Alright. Sup? Hey, she got mad. Welcome in. I'm never gonna call you 0 Day. It's kind of a weak name. Alright. What do I want to listen to? Lo-fi jazz. Or lo-fi jazz is nice. What else are you live on? I'm live on YouTube. If you just YouTube my Kick name, if you just Google YouTube search my Kick name, you'll find me. Gotta hit me with the bad habits. Alright, so where we left off is we have a functioning game and we have a HUD. No. So the goal of the game is to dodge these sprites and your score will increment every second you survive. And oop, game over. And the last bit of tutorial that we need to complete is adding sound. Excuse me. Excuse me. Thank you. Let's fit this right here. I have so many things going on my 3 monitors. Godot hype, yes. DW, that's correct grammar now. Oh, sweet, I see you made the switch to Godot. I did. And you know what? It's well, to me it's a lot easier than Unity. I'm getting the hang of it very quickly and I kind of like it. The confusing thing is that everything is like nodes. Everything are nodes. And so that's a little confusing, but I made the player character with its own animation. Well, I didn't make the art. It was given to me. Then I got the mob enemy. And then my main screen. What made you want to switch even after Unity came back to their senses? Well, they haven't really come back to their senses. They're still going to be charging for an install. It says, they said the first install, but it will be, you will have to self-report. So to me, what they're trying to do, I don't even know if they know what they're trying to do, because it just seems like it's a whole lot of kerfuffle, a whole lot of dookie. They went back on them saying that they were going to what's the word? I'm losing it. Starts with an R. I swear I have brain cells. How far did you get in the tutorial? I fell asleep. I'm almost done. I only have one part of the tutorial done. But that word that I'm trying to look for will come back to me. But yeah, I don't really trust Unity anymore. The iron source or iron mouse iron, a mouse source, whatever they merged the company with about a couple of months ago, that was kind of like that was sussy, a little sussy. But now I'm just like, I don't know. No, thank you. And I'm actually really liking Godot. Hopefully I can make a pretty game with it, but I guess we'll see. So we are finishing up. We're adding the background. So we have now completed all the functionality for our game. Below are some remaining steps to add a bit more juice to improve the game's experience. Feel free to expand the gameplay with your own ideas. I need a squishy. I need something to hold and hug. There we go. Make myself comfortable. Yeah, the brand is tarnished for realsies. Yeah. I have to agree with that statement. So we're going to add a background. The default gray background is not very appealing, so let's change the color. One way to do this is to use color rect node. Make it the first node under main, so it will be drawn behind the other nodes. All right, so we're gonna have to add a child node, I'm assuming, called color rect. And it says put it right under main. Color rect only has one property, color. Choose a color you like and select layout anchors preset full rect. So, what color? Do you like this blood? Actually, the enemies are kind of like that color, so let's do it a green. Nice forest green. Layout anchor presets. Full rectangle. All right. You could also add a background image if you have one by using texture rect node instead. I don't think it didn't come with a background. So we're just gonna have to do with the green. Yeah, the green looks nice. It's a nice contrast between everything that's moving on the screen, right? Looks good. Yeah, I heard somewhere that the same CEO wanted to make players pay $1 for each reload in Battlefield. Yes, the current CEO of Unity is the CEO that was the CEO of EA for the years, I think it was 2019, 20, and 2020. And when he was CEO, EA was voted the worst company in America. But yeah, he stated that he could do that. He could charge $1 for each time that a player has to reload because they're in the heat of the moment and they wouldn't realize how much money they were spending. Because they're not focused on the dollar amount, they're focused on the game, which is kind of like shady. Hope he runs them into the ground and makes Godot shine. Yeah, EA is probably the most hated game company. Well, it was voted worst company in general, worst company in America. Only financial greed for their interest. Yep. Alright, so sound effects now. Sound and music can be a single most effective way to add appeal to the game experience. In your game asset folder, you have two sound files: house in a forest loop for background music and game over for when the player loses. Add two audio stream player nodes as children of main. Audio stream player. So I have two of them. We'll name this music. And this one is going to be death sound. Capital S. On each one, click on the stream property, select load, and choose the music you want. A house in the forest for the music, and then game over for the death sound. If he can be a CEO, surely all of us can be CEOs. Well, see, I feel like the inherent characteristics of a CEO is that you have to be greedy. Well, it's debatable if all humans are inherently greedy, but I don't feel like I would be a good CEO because I'm not a greedy person. I would share my wealth to the point where I'd probably run my company down to the ground. I'll need someone to actually like, no, don't throw your money away. I guess it's not throwing your money away because you're helping others around you. But so you're liking Godot now? Because yesterday you were struggling for real. Yeah, well, I was. I don't know what part were you toasted. No, you were watching in the beginning. So at the beginning, I was struggling because I thought that it would be a good idea to ask ChatGPT to write me a tutorial on how to run Godot, and it was not a good idea, and I was struggling for a bit. But Godot actually has their a tutorial from themselves, and it's up to date with the current version. So this tutorial makes it quite easy. There was a bug that was preventing my enemies from spawning, and it took me 30 minutes to find this bug, and what it was I misspelled position. And I did see the error. It was like, oh, position cannot be like it couldn't be allocated, whatever, blah blah blah. And I was like, well, I didn't know. It's just it was frustrating. Solid bug. The workers only make the product to fire them all and hire junior devs. Ooh. Pardon me. Oops. Anyways, so audio. All audio is automatically imported with the loop setting disabled. If you want the music to loop seamlessly, click on the stream file arrow, select make unique. — Stream file arrow? Steam file and check the loot box. Quoi? The music to loop seamlessly. Click on the stream file arrow. All right, so this is stream and loop. Oh, make unique. What? Check the loot box. I have to make it unique first. How? Okay, sometimes this tutorial sucks, but playing autoplay stream pause. I don't know what I'm doing. Stream file arrow. Besides, make unique. Oh, right there. Then click on the stream flyer and make it look. Ah, perfect. All right, we figured it out. And I spent the day convincing my friend to get the rat or avatar haircut. What's the avatar haircut? He can be a legend. Avatar haircut? Like bald? Like Avatar from Yang? Or Yang from Avatar? Isn't he bald? Avatar haircut. Oh, with the arrow? I need help writing Python subprocess. Chat GPT? He was down for a price of 500 bucks. That's pretty steep for a haircut. For committing to do a haircut. How are you social engineering him to do it for free? What? Oh, it fucked you? Ooh. How does one do that? All right. So to play music, add music.play in the new game function and music stop in the game over function. All right, perfect. In main. So music.play. Capitals? No. And then game over. Music dot stop. Finally, add death node play to the game over function. So death sound dot play. Since the game is played with keyboard shortcuts or keyboard controls, it could be convenient if we could also start the game by pressing a key on the keyboard. We can do this with the shortcut property of the button node. In the previous lesson, we created 4 input actions to move the character. We will create a similar input action to map to the start of the button. I'm familiar with that. So let's see if I could do that do this on my own. So where's my button? Start position? No. My head. Mm. You know what? I think I'm gonna have to actually write some code for this to work. Pressed button press? No. Okay. Before I fuck this even further, maybe I don't know how to do it. It's just so much in my chat right now. I have to say I had him telling himself, what about if I did the haircut and then people would join? I agreed with him. Trendsetter. Oh, so you'll get the haircut with him? You'd be like little Yang twins. How did it fuck you up, Toaster? now, now I'm onto him. We will give returns and blocks execution of the rest of the script. It actually gets me 80% of the way there. Too bad. I would never do such humiliation. But it's almost Halloween though. In a month it will be Halloween. Just do Yang for Halloween, and then you have an excuse. Both of you do Yang, or convince him to do Yang for Halloween. All right. So create the movement, create a new input action called start game, and add a key mapping to the enter. Oh, I want to keep it at space, but what did I name it? Start. Can I rename it? Start game. Now would be a good time to add a controller support if you have any one available. Attach a pair of your controller, and then under each input action that you wish to add controller support. You know what? I have a controller right here. Might as well learn how to do so. So you input the controller, and then you do it like the same. So we add input. So this is move right. Oh, nice. We'll do also the D-pad. And then move left. Oops. Move up. Move down. Start game. Let's just do A. So in theory, we can actually play this right now. I'm playing with a controller, guys. It's kind of cool. Oh. I didn't hear the game over. Can I actually hear it? I did not hear that. But I don't. Did we? We set it as a trigger. Oh, no, we didn't. Oops. That was supposed to be right there. What did I do wrong? Nothing? So now when I die... There we go. Do 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 do. If I do what with you? Would it... I would never do this. Oh, if I do it with you? Dude, my hair is just so luscious and long, I do not want to buzz cut it. That will take me 10 years to get to grow my hair out to where it is right now. No, thank you. No. That would be too much of a commitment. And I hate commitments. You probably do it for fun. No, I do it for if somebody... $500,000. No less than $500,000. I will shave my head. Sorry, my hair is too precious. I've been growing it out ever since I can remember. Okay. Anyways. So we got the controller to work. We can do in the HUD scene, select the start button and find the shortcut property in the inspector. So we go to HUD, we go to start button, find a shortcut property in the inspector. Shortcut property. Get rid of all of these stuff because it's so much shortcut. Create a new shortcut resource by clicking within the box, open the event array, and add a new array element in this clicking. So in here, new shortcut. Yours looks a little different than mine. It says open the event array. Don't see anything that says event. Oh. It's right there. Clicking, and then we want to add a new array element. Add element. All right, so create a new input event action and name it start game. So oh, new input event action. All the way down here. And name it start game. How do I name it? What? No. In the action? Now when you start, button appears, you can either click it or press enter to start the game, or space. All right, so this gives, okay. Gives us another action. All right, so with that done, I can hit space now to start my game. Nice. Do. So, you got to make a player-controlled character. Enemies that spawn randomly around the game board. Count the score. Implement a game over and replay. Use interface sounds and more. Congratulations! There's so much to learn, but you can take a moment to appreciate what you achieved. And when you're ready, you can move on to your first 3D game to learn to create a complete 3D game from scratch in Godot. Okay, yeah, we'll try the 3D because I figured I want to implement some sort of like 3D graphicalness in the game. So I best know or somewhat or it should be familiar with Godot's 3Dness. English, I know how to speak words. What about the for cancer donation? Oh, they wouldn't actually take my hair because it is artificially dyed. For any hair donations, it has to be virgin hair. Already looked into that. I do not have virgin hair. my hair is a charlatan. I know we can't redeem any sit-ups or push-ups, but it's been 40 minutes and I'm in the mood of moving around. So if you want to move with me, we are going to be doing some sit-ups. Everybody get out of your chairs, get out of your bed, wherever you are. We're gonna do some sit-ups. And you better be doing them with me. 1, 2, 3. We have started. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now back in the seats to be lazy. All right, so we're done with the Dodge the Creeps game. It is time to load in another. Our first steps into 3D. In this step-by-step tutorial series, you will create your first complete 3D game with Godot. By the end of the series, you will have a simple yet finished project of your own. The game will code here is similar to your 2D game. With a twist, you can now jump, and your goal is to squish the creeps. This way, you will both recognize patterns you learned in your previous tutorial and build upon them with your new code, with new coded features. You will learn to work with 3D coordinates with a jumping mechanic. Use kinematic bodies to move 3D characters and detect when and how they collide. Use physics layers and a group of detect interactions with specific entities. Code basic procedural gameplay by instantiating monsters in regular time intervals. Design and movement animation and change its speed at runtime. Draw user interface on a 3D game. Cool. And more. Bunch of filler. All right. Setting up the game area. In this first part, we're going to set up the game area. Let's get started by importing the start assets and setting up the game scene. Okay, I need to get these assets. Can I have them, please? Excuse me. Beautiful. Wait, it wants me to import it? Once you download it, extract the zip archive on your computer, open the Godot project manager and click the import button in the import pop-up, enter the full path directory. You can click the browse button on the right to open the file browser and navigate the project Godot file the folder contains. Okay. Oh, I see. So we're kind of starting with a bit of a heads up. I don't know what's in my files, so just drag and drop. What does it want me to? There it is. You wanted me? Oh. No, go back, go back, go back. Oh, oops! I wasn't supposed to open it. Oopsies! I guess I wasn't supposed to extract it. That's okay. Why? What? Was I not supposed to extract it? Oh my gosh. Is this smash squash the creeps? It needs to be converted to, yeah, okay, you have 3 options. Convert only the configured file. Use this to open the project without attempting to convert its scene, resources, and script. Convert the entire project, including its scenes, resources, and script. Does it, okay, so. Let's convert full project. We'll perform full project conversion, updating scenes, resources, and script for good. Note that this is the best of our conversion. It makes upgrading the project easier, but will not open out of the box and will still require manual adjustments. Okay. Hopefully that's okay. All right. To start the project, the start project contains an icon and 2 folders, art and fonts. There will find the art assets and music we'll need in the game. Okay. There are 2 3D model players. How's the new job role treating you? Not too stressful, I hope. Technically, it hasn't started. I don't start until tomorrow. I'm not officially on the payroll as a director until tomorrow. So, yeah. But no, for the past 2 weeks since clubs haven't started, I literally had nothing to do while I was at work, so I was just reading. I'm reading the Scythe series. It's a young adult novel or a young adult series, but it's actually pretty dark, and I recommend it if you like dark utopia society kind of books. Obviously the little love story that's in it is kind of corny, but it's like not too much. It's not too bad. All right. So setting up the playable area. We're going to create our main scene with a plane node as its root. So in the scene doc, click the add the plane node as its root. So just a plain old node. In the scene doc, click the add child node button represented by plus icon and double click on the node. Name the node main. An alternative method to rename the node is to right click on the node and choose rename. All right, save the scene as main. Yep. We'll start by adding the floor that will represent the creature, that will prevent the creatures from falling. To create static colliders like the floor, walls, or ceiling, you can use static body 3D nodes. They require collision shape child nodes. So we'll go in here. We'll make a child. We'll call it static body 2D. Now, is it supposed to be a child of main? Yes, it is. And then we'll make that child. Oh, static. Ooh, I needed a 2D or a 3D. So delete node. Uh-oh. Okay, we're fine. Collision shape 3. This defines the collision area with the main node selected. Add a static body node and name it ground. Excuse me. All right, your scene tree should look like this. Yep. A warning sign next to the collision shape appears because we haven't defined its shape. If you click on the icon, a pop-up appears to give you more information. Shape must be provided for collision shape 3D to function. Please create a shape resource for it. So click on collision shape 3D. Give it a shape. What shape do we want? It says new body shape 3D. The box shape is perfect for flat ground and walls. Its thickness makes it reliable to block even fast-moving objects. A box wireframe appears in the viewpoint with 3 orange dots. Yes. You can click and drag these to edit the shape's extents interactively. We can also precisely set the size in the inspector. Click on the box shape 3D to expand the resource, set its size. So X is 60, Y is 2, and 60. Oh my gosh. That's kind of wide, but okay. Collision shapes are invisible. We need to add a visual floor that goes along with it. Selecting ground node and add a mesh instance as a child. Mesh instance 3D. In the inspector, click on the field next to mesh and create a box mesh resource to create a visible. New box mesh. Once again, it's too small, so you have to adjust the size. 60 to 60. Now we have a ground. You should see a wide gray slab that covers the grid and blue and red axles as viewpoints. Yep. We're going to move the ground down so we can see the floor grid select the ground. So dragging down the y-axis, the green arrow, the move gizmo. If you can't see the 3D object manipulator like on the image above, ensure that it's selected mode. Yep. Move the ground down 1 meter in order to have visible editor label. So we can just make sure this is nice and where it's supposed to be. I'm assuming you can do it here. There we go. But the collision box is off. That's kind of weird since it's a child. Down both children along with it. Ensure to move the ground node, not the mesh. Yeah, I did, but it does. They're supposed to group selected nodes. So let's move it back to where it belongs. Group selected nodes. Children are not selected. Alright, and so then at ground, move its position to -1. And there we go. Now they all are moved together. Let's add a directional light so our scene isn't all gray. Select a main node and add a child node, directional light 3D. We need to move and rotate the directional light 3D node. Move it up by clicking and dragging on the multiplier green arrow. So where is it? It's right there. Boop. Red arc rotated around the x-axis. The ground is lit. Okay. Oh, I see the direction light. All right. Turn on shadow, enable by clicking on checkbox. So in shadow enable, at this point, your object should look like this. Yes, that's our starting point. In the next part, you will work on the player scene and base movement. Player scene and input actions. In the next 2 lessons, we will design the player scene, register custom input actions, and code player movement. By the end, you'll have a playable character that moves in 8 directions. Create a new scene by, yep, all right. Create a character body 3D node as its root. Name the character body player. Character bodies are complementary to the area and rigid bodies used in the 2D game tutorial. Like rigid bodies, they can move and collide with the environment, but instead of being controlled by the physics engine, you dictate their movement. You will see how we use the node's unique features when we code the jump and squash mechanics. For now, we are going to create a basic rig for our character 3D model. This will allow us to rotate the model later via code while its plays an animation. Add a node 3D node as a child to player and name it pivot. Pivot with an O. Then in the file system doc, expand the art folder by double clicking and dragging and dropping player onto pivot. So we go to art, player, and then we drag it and drop it onto pivot. Someone learning Godot from the start. Wow, this will be interesting. Hello, Living Souls of Time's studio of time. Living Soul of Time. Yes, this will be my second tutorial game. I did a 2D version, and now I'm doing a 3D. I am following this tutorial if you are interested. All right, so now we have character. Oh, but you want us to rename it to character instead of player. Ah, from France. Ah, parlez-vous français? Ah, oui. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Pineapple. I will follow along with great interest. Ah, wonderful. I love to inspire other people to follow their dreams. What I find is Godot, the only kind of experience I have with making games is using Unity. And Godot is a lot easier than Unity, in my humble opinion. All right, so as with all kinds of physics nodes, we need a collision shape for our character to collide with the environment. Select the player node again and add a child node collision. Collision shape 3D. In the inspector on the shape property, add a new sphere shape. Sphere wireframe appears below in the character. Does it? This is its what is this? Is this the collision? It will be the shape the physics engine uses to collide with the environment. So we want it to be better fit to the 3D model. Shrink it a bit by dragging the orange dot in the viewpoint sphere radius of about 0.8 meters. Can I actually just change that here? Then move the shape up so its bottom roughly aligns with the grid's plane. How do we move it up? Exactly. Okay. But it wants us to align this with the grid's plane. But why? Can't really see. Oh, by clicking the eye. Okay, so I can toggle. There we go. So we'll change this back to 0.8. And align it with the ground. Don't know why we're doing this. It would be interesting. Can you please tell us why we're doing this? C'est pas. I don't know what po means. Usually a capsule is the perfect shape, as it's easier to deal with collisions. I just barely started with Godot also. I'm following the tutorial, so. Living Soul, where are you from? Italy. Oh, Apple. Say means it's. So did you just say it's Apple? So I said saves the scene as player, which is already there. So we'll toggle this back. This is kind of interesting. This collision box is only 25% of the actual body. All right. To move the character, you will listen to the player's input, like pressing the arrow keys. In Godot, while we could write all the key bindings in code, there's a powerful system that allows us to assign. Oh, I'm already familiar with this. So we go to projects, we go to project settings, we go to input map, and we will, at the top, there will be multiple tabs. Click on the input tab. Yep, the window allows you to add new actions at the top. They are your labels. In the bottom part, put combine keys in these actions. Godot projects come with some predefined actions designed for user interface design, which we could use here, but we're defining our own to support gamepads. We're going to name our actions move left, move right, move forward, move back, and jump. To add an action, okay, so we're going to have to do these manually. I was wondering if it was going to be like, oh, you can use this plugin. But no, we're going to have to move them or make them manually, right? This is it. No, that wasn't supposed to be capitalized. Oops. Move back, move forward, and then jump. To bind a key or button in the action, click the plus button to its right. Yes. Key into the action, move left. All right, so it's doing WASD keys. She will learn Godot in French. Are you guys in engineering school? Not me. I was in school for computer science and I graduated. But not engineering. You're froze? On YouTube? On my end, everything looks fine. Do you know how to code? Yeah, I do. But I don't like it. So move left. Move right. Move back. Move forward. And then jump. Standard. All right, I have to use the restroom. I will be back here soon. She froze on the screen. Oh. I'm frozen. All right. Ladies and germs, I am back. Why is there Japanese on in my chat? I don't know Japanese. Are you learning GDScript? Yes. I am using GDScript. Do you know C++? Yes, I do. I have coded in C++ before. I have. So wants us all also to do gamepad. Well, since I'm here, might as well. It's pretty easy. I have this plugged in, move back, move forward, and jump. All right. So do the same for other input actions. For example, bind the right arrow. Yep. You find action to set up to this jump action. Bind the space key. Yep. Your jump input action should look like this. Yep. That's all the actions we need for this game. You can use this menu to label any groups of keys and buttons in the project. The next part will code and test the player's movement. All right, so we got the devices working. Asumi Mason? Is that English? Is that a word I don't know? Because I sure don't know it. Moving the player with code. It's time to code. We're going to use the input actions we created in the last part of the move the character. To move the character. Right click the player node and select attach script to the player. And we are going to name it. Oh, we're going to adjust the template. Set the template to empty before pressing the create button. So object empty? Yes. We're going to name it player. They capitalized it, so I'm going to. Let's start with the case properties. Yeah, the class properties. We're going to define a movement speed, a fall acceleration representing gravity, and a velocity we'll use to move the character. So extends character body 3D. We are going to export. Now I'm going to be silent during typing because I know some of you like the sound of my keyboard. Oh, means sorry in Japanese. Coding HLSS. The Achilles heel by existence. What the keyboard clacks? Keyboard clacks. There are common properties for a moving body. The target velocity is a 3D vector. Makes sense. And combining speed with the direction. Here, we define it as a property because we want to update and reuse its value across frames. With the export. The values are quite different from 2D code because distance are in meters. While in 2D, 1,000 units pixels may only correspond to half of the screen's width. In 3D, it's a kilometer. All right, let's code the movement. We start by calculating the input direction vector using the global input object and physics process. All right, so we have our movement. Here we're going to make all calculations using the physics process virtual function. Like process, it allows you to update the node every frame, but it's designed specifically for physics-related code like moving a kinematic or rigid body. To learn more about the difference between process and physics process, see idle and physics processing. We start by initiating a direction variable in vector.0. Then we check if the player is pressing one or more of the move inputs and updates the vector x and z components accordingly. These corresponds to the ground plane's axle. These 4 directions give us 8 possibilities in 8 possible directions. In case the player presses, say, both W and D simultaneously, the vector will have a length of about 1.4. But if they press a single key, it will have a length of 1. We want the vector length to be consistent and not move faster diagonally. To do so, we can call normalize method. Here we only normalize the vector if the direction has a length greater than 0, which means the player is pressing a direction key. In this case, we also get the pivot node and call its lookat method. This method takes a position in space to look at in global coordinates, and the up direction, in this case, we can use the vector.up constant. What job field are you trying to get into? Good question. I have no idea. I'm already in a job field. I'm in childcare, but I want to make my own game, so that's why I'm learning Godot. So in 3D, the property that contains a node's position is position. By adding the direction to it, we get a position to look at that's 1 meter away from the player. Then we update the velocity. We have to calculate the ground velocity and the fall speed separately. Be sure to go back 1 tab so the lines are inside the physics process function, but outside the condition we just wrote above. Oh. The character body 3D is on floor function returns true if the body collided with the floor in this frame. That's why we apply gravity to the player only while it's in the air. For the vector velocity, we subtract the fall acceleration multiplied by the delta time every frame. This line of code will cause our character to fall in every frame as long as it's not on or collides with the floor. The physics engine can only detect interactions with walls, the floor, or other bodies during a given frame if movement and collision happen. We will use this property later to code the jump. On the last line, we call character body 3D.move and slide, which is the powerful method of the character body 3D class that will allows you to move a character smoothly. If it hits a wall, midway through the motion, the engine will try to smooth it out for you. It uses a velocity value native to the character body 3D. And that's all the code you need to move the character on the floor. Here's a complete player code. Now, only if they did that for the 2D. All right, so now my chat was paused. I just realized it was just paused. Congrats. Oh my gosh, no, I'm like hissing like a cat because coding is required to game dev. And I am very new at it. Same. I only know Python, which is the worst language. Python's not the worst language. So Nox, if you know Python, then I would recommend Godot because their Godot's native language is much like Python. All code is the same, but the syntax is different. Yeah, not all code is the same. Not all languages are the same. In just the syntax. So if you understand the concept, it should be easier to pick up other ones. Somewhat. Depends on what kind of language it is. All right, time to sleep. That was a great watching you. Oh, sorry for not staying longer. No worries. I have nice programming sessions. Cheers. Have a nice programming session. Thank you, Nox, for stopping by and hanging out with me. I hope you get a good night's rest. Yeah, but like, for instance, if you're looking at a language like Haskell, it's a database language, and it's hard to explain. But anyways, moving on to the point. Testing our player's movement. So we're going to put our player in the main scene to test it. To do so, we need to instantiate the player. I know how to do that. So go to main, click here, get the player. Ooh, no, not the art, the player. We'll instantiate it. Instantiate? Well, yes, database is a whole different ball game. MySQL and such. Yeah. So we need to instantiate the player and add a camera. Unlike 2D, in 3D you won't see anything if your viewpoint doesn't have a camera pointing at something. Save the player scene and open the main scene. Alright. If you're closed the scene before, head to the file system dock and double click main to reopen it. Right click on the main node and select instantiate child scene. Can't you just do this? Instantiate child scene. Yeah. So There's just different ways to do it, I guess. Add a camera. Let's add the camera next. Like we did with our player pivot, we're going to create a basic rig. Right click on the main node again and select add child node. And create a new marker 3D. And name it camera pivot. Oi, oi! Baguette! Is this a 3D game now? Yeah. Yeah, this is the 3D. I'm following the 3D tutorial since I finished the 2D tutorial. So we have a camera pivot. Now we have to add a new child node called camera 3D. Why do we need a pivot? Doesn't really say why. But oh well. To it. The scene tree should look like this. So are we renaming the camera? Just the camera? That's fine. Notice the preview checkbox that appears in the top left where you have the camera selected. You can click on the preview in-game camera projection. Oh, right here? Whoa! We're going to use the pivot to rotate the camera as if it was on a crane. Let's first split the 3D view to be able to freely navigate the scene and see what the camera sees. In the toolbar right above the viewpoint, click on view, then two viewports. So camera pivot, view, two viewports. You can also press Control 2, Command 2 on macOS. All right. On the bottom view, select the camera 3D. And turn the camera preview by selecting the so on the bottom view, select the camera 3D. In the top view, move the camera above 19 units. So where's the camera? Okay. So on the top view, move the camera about 19 units. So how can we actually just do this in here? Transform. C to 19. Okay. Yeah. I think that is looking correct. It's oh yeah, wee wee. Was I saying oi oi? Oi oi baguette. Oi. This is Australia, mate. Yeah, wee wee. You said wee wee. Okay, here's where the magic happens. Select the camera pivot and rotate it to 45 degrees. Rotation -45. Enter. Oh, this kind of looks ugly. This preview. Oh, Oh no. Where did the preview button go? Oh, okay. It doesn't look like that. What if we change this to 5? That kind of looks better. Kind of looks like what we were going for, what it looks like in the tutorial. Tell us about the game you want to make. Oh gosh. Oh Lord. It will take forever. It's called Deep State, or are you a conspiracy? So why it's called Deep State is because it's the game takes place in a bunker. Now I have a lore transcript in here somewhere in my Google Docs for you to read. I can link it in here. I just have to find it. I had it leaked in my Twitch, but all right. Here is the lore doc. You can comment. Can't edit it, but you can comment. You can read it. Have you seen Orwell Keeping an Eye on You? Is that a movie? No, I have not seen that. I know of Orwell. That name sounds familiar. Yeah, George Orwell. Yeah, Fahrenheit 451. Right? Oh, Animal Farm. Animal Farm. The game you play as a Big Brother agent and have to decide on the fate of the people you spy on. Spooky. Hello, 12A1. Hi. All right, so we can see some empty space around the character due to the perspective projection. In this game, we're going to use the orthographical projection instead to better frame the gameplay area and make it easier for the player to read distance. Select the camera again, and in the inspector, set the projection to orthogonal. Oh, my dude disappeared. And the size to 19. There we go. The character should now look flatter and the ground should fill the background. While using orthogonal camera in Godot 4, directional shadow quality is dependent on the camera's far value. The higher the far value, the higher away the camera will be able to see. However, higher far values also decrease shadow quality, as the shadow rendering has to cover a greater distance. If directional shadows look too blurry after switching to an orthogonal camera, decrease the camera's far property to a lower value such as 100. Don't decrease this far property too much, where objects in the distance will start to disappear. All right, so should I do it? Does it want me to do it? Oh, is this what we were supposed to set to 19? And not this? Let's set that to 0 and see what happens. Yeah, okay. Test the scene, and you should be able to move in all 8 directions. All right, let's see. Yes, this should be our main scene. So let's try with the controller. I mean, I don't know if I'm moving. Kind of. Whoa, it moves. Ultimately, we have both player movement and the view in place. Next, we will look into monsters. Do you like to vape? Yeah, unfortunately I do. It's a sad addiction. If you ain't vaping, you ain't living. No, I don't encourage anybody to pick up the habit. It's an awful habit. But unfortunately, I am a creature of habit. Designing the mob scene. In this part, you're going to code the monsters, which we'll call mobs. In the next lesson, we'll spawn them randomly around the playable area. Let's design the monster movement in a new scene. The node structure is going to be similar to the player scene. Create the scene. All right. New scene. Character body 3D node is at the root. Hey, can we get rid of this window? I don't really need the window anymore. Name it mob. Add a child node 3D, name it pivot. And drag and drop the file mob from the file system dock into the pivot. Mob GLB. You can rename the newly created mob node into character. We need a collision shape. Oh, and Raisin, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. That was 2 hours ago. My bad. We need a collision shape for our body to work. Right click on the mob node, the scene's root, and click add child node. Wow, add a collision shape 3D. In the inspector, assign a box shape. New box. We should change its size to fit the 3D model better. You can do so interchangeably by clicking and dragging the orange dots. It's so, why is it so small? $10? Oh, that's too big. $5? Ooh, $5? I don't see these orange pivots that I can drag and drop. So I guess I'll do it the manual way. Ah, there we go. Is that... Am I messing around with the collision box? I don't see its size change. Okay. Oh, so... the feetsies are free to grab, I suppose. That's good. Your notes are interesting. Thanks for sharing. I would definitely edit for impact. Yeah, if you have any ideas, I'd be interested to hear. But the ideas are cool. Grab them feetsies. It shows me not doing a box glider on the feetsies. So the box should touch the floor and be a little thinner than the model. Physics engines works in such a way that if the player sphere touches even the box corners, a collision will occur. If the box is a little too big compared to the 3D model, you may die at a distance from the monster, and the game will feel unfair to the player. Notice that the box is taller than the monster. It is okay in this game because we're looking at the scene from above and using a fixed perspective. Collision shapes don't have to match the model exactly. It's the way the game feels when you test. It should be it should dictate their form and size. All right, we're going to removing monsters off screen. We're going to spawn monsters at a regular time intervals in the game level. If we're not careful, their count could increase to infinity, and we don't want that. Each mob instance has both a memory and processing cost, and we don't want to pay for it when the mob is outside the screen. Once a monster leaves the screen, we don't need it anymore, so we should delete it. Godot has a node that detects when objects leave the screen, visible on screen notifier 3D, and we're going to use it to destroy the mobs. Is that a squid? Kind of looks like it. Yeah, I'd say it's a squid. But we're gonna fix the box collision. So the corners are a little iffy. There, I think that's a little better. So note, when you keep instances, instantiating an object, there's a technique you can use to avoid the cost of creating and destroying instances all the time called pooling. It consists of pre-creating an array of objects and reusing them over and over. When working with GDScript, you don't need to worry about this. The main reason to use pools is to avoid freezes with garbage collection languages like C# or Lua. GDScript uses a different technique to manage memory. Reference counting, which doesn't have that caveat. You can learn more here. memorymanagement.com. Select the mob node and add a child node visible on screen notifier. Notifier. Another box, pink this time, appears when the box completely leaves the screen. The node will emit a signal. I don't see this pink box. I see an orange box. I'm going to assume it's the orange box. Resize it using the orange dots until it covers the entire 3D model. All right. It's covering the entire 3D model. Do we have to flatten it? Might as well. Right, coding the mob's movement. Let's implement the monster's motion. We're going to do this in 2 steps. First, we'll write a script on the mob that defines a function to initialize the monster. We'll then code the randomized spawn mechanics in the main scene and call the function from there. Attach script to mob. Here, the movement code to start with. We define 2 properties, min speed and max speed, to define a random speed range, which we will later use to define character body 3D velocity. Maybe pink Godot 3.5. Yeah, I noticed this. This tutorial is a little outdated, but it's funny. At the top of the page, the content of this page was not yet. Oh, it was not yet updated for 4.1. It may be outdated. All right. Some more ASMR. I need a snack though. I'm getting pretty hungry. Oh my gosh, it's almost 6 o'clock already. Oof. All right, let's just finish this section of the tutorial. Similarly to the player, we move the mob every frame by calling the function character body.3D move and slide. This time, we don't update the velocity every frame. We want the monster to move at a constant speed and leave the screen, even if we're hit. Even if it were to hit an obstacle. We need to define another function to calculate the character body.3D velocity. This function will turn the monster toward the player and randomize both its angles of motion and its velocity. The function will take a start position, the mob spawn position, and the player position as an argument. The position the mob at start position and turn it towards the player using the look at from position method, and randomize the angle by rotating a random amount around the y-axis. Below random range outputs random values between -pi divided by 4 radians and pi divided by 4 radians. Mm. We get a random position. Now we need a random speed. Okay, wait. Standalone lambdas. Mm. Mm. Oops. Okay. Random I range will be useful as it gives random int values, and we will use min speed and max speed. Have you seen the anime Gurren Lagann? No. But I'm currently watching the live action One Piece that's currently on Netflix right now. And I actually have never seen One Piece the animated series. It's just not my type of anime. But I like the live action. I have no frame of reference. It's just an integer, and we just use the multiply or character by after random speed is applied. We rotate character. Blah, 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 blah. Leaving the screen. We still have it destroy the mobs when they leave the screen. To do so, we'll connect our visible on-screen notifier node screen exit signal to the mob. So, mob node. Screen exit. Don't see screen exit. I see one on visible on screen. Oh, okay. So screen exit. We'll connect it to uh-oh. Head back to the 3D viewpoint by clicking on the 3D label at the top of the editor. Yep. Select the visible on-screen notifier node, and on the right side of the interface, navigate to the node dock. Okay, so I was doing it right. Screen exit. Connect the signal to the mob. Oh, so the on-visible on-screen notif. Okay, so we wanted that. It will take you back to the script editor and add a new function for you. From it, call the queue free method in the function. Right here. Queue free. Our monster is ready to enter the game. In the next part, you will spawn monsters in the game level. Here's the complete code. All right, so our monsters are not spawning yet. We just have our little dude. And I feel like he's clipping into the ground. Because he is. If we lift him up, he's still clipping. Because our collision box is all the way up here. I don't know why. There we go. I kind of want to make him looking like he's floating just a tad bit. Yeah, he's floating, and he's got the shadows. Very low poly shadows. I mean, not low potty. Low pixel. For sure. My dad really loved One Piece. I've seen over 1,000 episodes of the anime. Oh, is your dad like dead or something? Oh, that was kind of cold. But anyways, so it is 6 o'clock. Why did that shrink? No. Jeez, time to smoke. For you, maybe. But it is 6 o'clock on this lovely Sunday evening. I am going to have to go to get this English. I'm gonna go get some dinner, and then I'm going to play some Magic with some friends tonight. And it's gonna be Magic night tonight. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to cut this stream a little early. And then I officially start my new job tomorrow. So wish me luck. Hopefully it's not going to be a major shit show. I'm kind of scared, but we shall see. We shall see what happens. But I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your night, morning, day, whatever fucking time it is for you. Fuck. Just remember to be kind, be grateful, and most importantly, don't be a booty hole. And I will see you all next week. Weekend. Have a good one.